As a company that truly cares for the community and its people, Debswana's corporate social investment program is one of many ways the company shows its heart for the citizens of Botswana and its moral duties towards it. Being a leading corporate citizen, Debswana's CSI and community relations policy over the years has made significant socio-economic transformation for the country's communities.
So the origin of CSI within Debswana started as far as back as 1969, when the company started operating. Debswana is a partnership between the government of Botswana and De Beers, and one of our goals as a company is to make sure that we are a development partner for the government of Botswana. So as far as we started in 1969, a corporate social investment has been our main goal. Our corporate social investment programs focuses on making a difference, first and foremost in Botswana, as well as in communities in which we operate. So the main communities which we operate are around Boteti area, as well as Jwaneng Mabutsani area.
Created the African Development Bank. We funded it very well. All Botswana took loans from the ADB, the Botswana Development Bank. But that was in addition to a separate program where people were given money free.
We focus on our people. For instance, our communities, relationship between us and our communities, which is why we have an international measure called the Social Performance Index to measure our relationship and interface with the community. We also have an interface through our Botswana Mine Workers Union with our people. So the key focus that drives our value of show we care is what makes us unique.
With the need for a more structural approach, the corporate social investment became fully effective in 2015.
We have on record a 25 Rand donation to an NGO called the Lady of the Desert. And since then, in the early 80s, we continued to have quite a number of donations of that similar nature. But over time, we realized that there needed to be more structure towards our donations drive, and we developed it into the Corporate Social Responsibility Program in the early 2000s. And we achieved a lot of success with that program as well, and even ended up improving it to the Corporate Social Investment Program in 2015, which had an increase of from a 9 million to a 15 million Pula annual budget for that program. And what we realized with approaching it from an investment perspective is that we had more impact and traction, both from us as the investor, as well as the beneficiary, to take joint responsibility for the success of the CSI projects.
The framework being to maintain their social license to operate, demonstrating that the communities within their operations benefit mutually and are welcoming to Debswana's operations.
Social license to operate is also a relatively new approach in Debswana. In 2012, we took on the Social Way, which is a management system that aims to manage social risk as well as maximize socioeconomic development in host communities. And it's through this program that Debswana really aims to maintain its social license to operate, recognizing that we do get the legal license to mine, but if you're not in harmonious coexistence with your communities, it's seldom that you do get your social license to operate. And as a result, the Social Way program, which I mentioned is a system that we use to interact with our communities, allows us to monitor and execute projects jointly with our community members. And as a result, we've been able to gain a lot of traction in harmonious coexistence, and especially strengthening our relationships with our stakeholders around our mines.
Predominantly as a mining company, we will get our licenses from government regulators. So our social license to operate brings our key stakeholders, which are communities, to actually ensure that they've actually said to us, the way you work with us, it's acceptable. You're actually making a real and lasting impact in our communities.
To us, socioeconomic risks are business risks. You know, traditionally we used to say anything social is the responsibility of government. But because we also subscribe to United Nations Sustainable Development Agenda 2030, we have to now understand that social risks are business risks and take full responsibility to make sure that the effective management is integrated on the way we manage business. If you look at our long-term strategy, medium-term strategy, we do have a pillar dedicated to effective management of social risks.
With a core belief that the environment and the communities should benefit from their exertions, the company ensures that its contribution towards this is something to look back at proudly.
It's when we start our CSI project, we first go to the community to actually understand what is the need on the ground and how the communities would like to see that need addressed. We will then bring experts to come and work with the community to actually develop a solution. And along the way, we also work at ensuring that we empower communities to actually improve their lives. So the other area that we also focus on as a company is ensuring that our employees also make a difference. So there's a number of projects that we have done around our employee volunteerism projects. This includes different employees from different departments adopting different schools, adopting different communities, buying them stationaries, buying them toiletries. There's also been an uptake and an increase in working with the girl child. We've seen a number of our employees donating sanitary pads to different schools around the region to ensure that girls are able to attend schools.
If we look a bit closely at our operations, I think our social amenities, we have operated for 50 years, and at both of our big operations, we run large hospitals that act as referral hospitals for the district. We have schools. Both the schools and the hospitals have not only benefit our employees or contractors, but have benefit people in the region. I've often heard people who are employed in Francistown by other organizations refer to the fact that they're going to have their baby at the Orapa Hospital, purely because our standards of taking care of people are so high. So it is a hospital of choice. It is the go-to place. Both of our hospitals probably see up to 100,000 patients a year, so it's pretty significant.
One of our main flagship projects in CSI is the Tsodilo Hills project that we delivered in collaboration with De Beers. We invested over 16 million pula over a period of time, and through that project we were able to significantly change the landscape of the World Heritage Site to be able to bring tourists into that area and actually gain meaningful commercial exchange between the village as well as the tourists. So through that investment, we were able to build campsites, areas where tourists can buy arts and crafts. We even constructed a pathway, a staircase up to the area where the rock paintings were able to be viewed. And through that, the community of Tsodilo have been able to sustain an annual livelihood, which is the income generation through that project. And it's something that we are particularly proud of.
Our CSR program also helps at improving the quality of education in the region. This focuses on a number of projects. One, first and foremost, ensuring that we have resources. The primary schools and the junior schools within the area have resources to actually improve the quality of education. So the projects that we've done to date include provisions of classroom blocks in Mokobokane. We've also have what we call our CSI training teachers who help government teachers with improving the quality of maths, English and science. This program has also been running for the past 10 years. We have actually seen and improved performances in our schools. Also within Orapa, we have Orapa Community Junior Secondary Schools, which has been top of the class in our JSE examination in Botswana for the past 5 years. So part of the program that our CSI teachers do to actually improve maths, science and English has actually yielded that results.
The Debswana CSI strategy's objectives are to ensure consistent and equitable distribution of support to deserving communities, organizations, and the country altogether.
The Debswana CSI policy was renewed in 2019, and through it we identified 2 objectives of the policy. The first is to support and strengthen our social license to operate through the programs that allow our communities to thrive in terms of socio-economic development. And the second was to really aim to deliver our programs jointly, so to improve our partnership approach when it comes to corporate social investment. We have 3 focus areas that we run under the CSI program. The first being sustainable communities, second is women, girls and people living with disability, and the third is biodiversity and conservation. And under sustainable development, which is quite broad, we have a few areas where we have concerted effort to drive key areas such as skills development, entrepreneurship, social infrastructure such as schools, classrooms, health facilities, amongst others, to really improve service delivery at the very basic level. And through those programs, that is what we have developed as the strategy to deliver our socio-economic development projects under CSI.
Our objectives have been successful, but it's still a journey. There's still more that we still need to do as a company, and the communities continue to give us feedback on how we can improve that. We work with them on a regular basis. On a monthly basis, we engage with different stakeholders to find out how we can improve as a company. We also have our complaints and grievance processes where we're able to find out what issues communities have with us, and also the proposed suggestion on how we can actually address them. So it's a journey we're excited to be on, and we're looking forward to working with communities to actually improve or increase our impact.
The Social Way is a 5-point maturity rating matrix in which we assure or have self-assurance processes annually to gauge where we are in the process. It ranges from reactive all the way to proactive, and at a bare minimum, we expect to operate around the compliance area. The Social Way is a global best practice standard that has derived lots of different pieces of framework, both locally with national legislation, as well as international standards like the International Finance Corporation standards, the Sustainable Development Goals, the International Mining and Metals industry pieces are also used in that. And using that framework, we really develop different programs to ensure that we can build on programs to minimize negative impacts and maximize socioeconomic benefit for our host communities.
Continuing its sustainability legacy objectives, Debswana continues to provide financial assistance through annual budgets, pilot projects equipping communities around the company's mines with structured approaches for submission and imperative funding proposals.
So then the other projects that we also do around working with what we call vulnerable communities or people who don't necessarily have access to resources. This includes our Dikhosi in our villages, our village development communities, to actually upgrade their villages. So projects varying from helping bakeries in Kwe, working with women in Tumu, working with women in Toromoja. We have projects where women actually have started businesses to actually do uniforms. We have women with projects that also include doing academic awards for the region. I think one of the things around education, where it is also our focus, is that we want to also motivate schools that are doing very well. So like our sister mine joining, we have introduced what we call the Diamond Dreams Awards. The aim is to just motivate and acknowledge and appreciate the excellent work that the learners from our primary our junior and secondary school has actually done.
In some cases, we don't always get it right, and it's an area for improvement. What we've noticed is ensuring that we have co-creation and co-ownership of the projects with beneficiaries makes a huge difference to making sure that the impact is realized. And also improving on our monitoring and evaluation is an area where we continue to strengthen our performance in that area.
Examples of these being Olorato Children's Center in Lutlakane, Society for the Deaf in Francistown, Botswana National Sports Council Rebabona Ha Program, Butilo Community Trust in Shakawe, and Emang Basadi, just to name a few.
Truly, I think that all Botswana have benefited from diamond mining, no matter where you're from, and so have I. So if you look at education, if you look at healthcare, if you look at infrastructure and the economy, I have benefited similarly to other Botswana. And I think perhaps this is the thread that unites us as a nation, that we have been provided with the same opportunities by what has been the contribution of Dipswana to the nation.
The 40 years that I've been here, 20 I got married, and and 20 years it's a long time again.
Remember, Joining started operation in 1982, and I started living in Joining in 1982. So I'm personally a true beneficiary, 100% of a diamond.
From Orapa all the way to Joining Mine, Debswana continues to give back to the communities by mining the resources and, in return, enriching the nation.